Hello, this is Jan. Welcome to another video. Today we are doing another story. We are doing the third book in the Clockwork Chronicles, Sacrifice for Freedom by yours truly. Yeah, we're going to be reading chapter 1 today, and then we'll be continuing on to do the live streams, please. Yeah. So let's get on to it. Chapter 1. Well, yeah. If you haven't read the other two, listened to any of the other two books, be sure to do so. And yeah, short stories will probably be helpful in some cases. Yeah, I definitely will be reading book 3 once this book's done, which is, yeah, going to be interesting. Because it's probably the longest book out of all of them so far. So let's get to it. I don't want to delay it any more than we have to. It's Quishy. It was another beautiful day in the lovely world, with crisp blue sky, with clouds nowhere in sight. It was a peaceful afternoon, with the sun shining down on the world below. There were no dangers, no threats, nothing that the eye could see that a young 17-year-old boy could not find. And even though things were not as they seemed, at least not at first glance. The boy stood at the base of a building that was being constructed by friends that he wouldn't have normally met back in his world. Far from anything he knew here. After all, it was far different than anything he had seen at all. But that didn't mean he didn't like it here. He actually enjoyed himself here, having fun by either watching his friends work on new ideas, play games, or watch them play games because the games would be too dangerous for him to play, since he was, after all, nothing like his friends. They were YouTubers, a different group of people altogether with their own abilities and strengths. The calm day was definitely something he enjoyed as well. It meant that his friends would be able to be themselves without the threat of Mr. A and his men, who had it as their goal to destroy all the YouTubers for revenge's sake, even though, technically, it was helping protect his friends. Technically, he was helping to protect his friends. There were far more threats than those men. After all, some people in the cause that were supposed to help the YouTubers had listened to the lies of the traitorous Gerald had spread about one of his friends being a traitor. He put it into his mind to be with his friend as much as he could. After the people who had forced him out let his friend get captured and nearly killed by Mr. A and Gerald, he hadn't seen these men in quite some time, and he hoped they truly were gone for good. Be better for all of them. The boy looked away from the path of buildings that spanned from the far east to the far west and looked up to see his friends had nearly completed the roof of the building, which looked unique and different compared to everything else he had seen, which was the point. His friends were creative and worked together to create new things, even after the town in Funland looked far bigger than he had ever imagined them to be. The sun slowly began to creep towards the horizon as the moments passed. The boy watched as his 6 friends finished placing the final blocks before starting to head down, finally finishing the outside, which meant they would be doing the inside probably tomorrow, if this routine continued, which it most certainly definitely would. The boy had looked back to the path, looking left and right to make sure everything was okay. There didn't seem to be anything amiss as he turned back to see each of his 6 friends jump down. The boy smiled as they approached. Everything looked good down here? A blue squid asked the boy curiously. The boy nodded. Yeah, nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. Squid. That's good. No, Ginger Cat replied. I think it's about time we head back. I'd rather not be out here long after nightfall. Me neither, a purple bush baby replied. Besides, I think we can all agree that we're all pretty exhausted. A yellow duckling chuckled as she nodded. Ooh, yeah, I guess we could. So, back to your place then, Stampy? One of the men asked the cat. He had blonde hair and dark brown eyes. He wore a blue shirt with a white S on it. The cat nodded, confirming the YouTuber's question. Then we best get going, the other man, who had bright blonde hair and piercing blue eyes. He pulled back the sleeves of a lime green hoodie as the others began walking towards the house. So, you and Jimmy are taking the first shift? Squid asked the two young men as they walked down the path. Yeah, sounds about right, the man replied. Don't tire yourselves out too much, Martin, the bush baby added firmly. Martin chuckled. Don't worry, I won't. Yeah, Nettie, you really don't have to worry about it, Jimmy added, with a cheeky grin. We can handle it. So, be careful, the duckling cut in. Things may look all good and nice, but it only takes one moment of letting your guard down before something happens. Squish has got a good point there, the boy said with a smile. Martin nodded. We'll be careful. Good, the cat replied with a grateful nod. So you really don't have to do that. It's better to be safe than sorry, Jimmy said simply. The YouTuber had an air of confidence in his voice that the boy couldn't deny. So, everyone is set for what they're going to do tonight? The boy asked, wanting to be absolutely sure. Yeah, I think we do, Gracie said with a nod. So we didn't hear what you were planning to do. Nettie replied quickly. So, what are you going to do, Sam? Probably relax. It's been a long day for all of us, the boy replied. So I am ready to eat in case anything comes up. Of course you are, Squid said with a amused smile. I don't think any of us would ask for it any other way. Totally agreed, the cat said with a nod. They were drawing near to the house, and the boy could see it very clearly. This sort of stand out in its own special way. It wasn't what he'd normally call a house. It's more the size of a mansion, really. But it did fit into the requirements for one. It was just another quirk about the world that made it just a little bit different than what he had seen anywhere else back home. And I mention it later. And he liked that because it helped him see what it was like in a world that was far different than his own. The ones that he found in his town, or even his own house, which was in and itself a one-story home with small rooms compared to this grand mansion of a home that is he sort of it. Sam walked down the spruce and birch checkered path as his friends continued talking about smaller things. The boy didn't really pay too much attention. After all, he needed to make sure that he was alert in case anything did show up at the last minute to try to ruin their perfect streak of perfect days. The boy couldn't help but smile at that as he looked over at the cat, who had probably been through a lot more than any of them had been combined. He had been stripped from his world when they'd been rescued by Eli White, the man in charge of the cause to protect the YouTubers, and his brother Liam, who had been sent by one of the cat's friends to help them. After that, the cat had been accused and threatened by Gerald before they had known what the man had done. The man had accused him of being a traitor and found a way to try to damage the cause by betraying them, giving the cat all the blame. The boy swallowed as he remembered watching his friends being taken away by a helicopter. He and his brother had gone to the distance to try to get them in time, and they had, proving Mr. A and Gerald wrong, and he would continue to do that, especially after Mr. A and his brother RJ's return. Gerald had freed them after capturing the cat and taking him out of his own world, imprisoning him for a whole week before the cat escaped. The boy couldn't imagine what would have happened if his friend hadn't found him when he did. The boy had done everything he could to help his friend, even when he was separated by worlds because of some people. Some people thought he would have been better off at school. Yet he'd risked everything to save his friend, with the help of Squid and Squishy, and the helpers from Mr. A's torturous punishment. The boy shuddered as he remembered that moment. When he had found the cat, he'd been in far worse condition than he had been in, with the shock collar, which had been destroyed to prevent it from hurting you ever again. The boy couldn't fathom just how horrible it had to have been to go through something like that. Yet it had all been with the cat every step of the way through his recovery. They even had a celebration. The cat was free to walk by himself to remember this small victory. And indeed, it was small, because once again, they had proven Mr. A wrong, and that was always something that was worth the celebration. There's an extra space there. They neared the house as Squid went ahead to open the door for the others, as each of them went through. The boy waited until everyone else went through the door and were going their separate ways before he walked up to the door. "You've been pretty quiet today," the squid said as the boy walked through, closing the door behind him. "Is everything okay?" "Yeah, everything's good," the boy replied. "I was just thinking." "About what?" the squid asked, raising a curious eyebrow. Sam shrugged. "Nothing much, really, just realizing how far we've all come to get here." "Yeah, it's a little crazy, isn't it?" Squid said with a smile. "Well, if anything does come up, let me know. I'll be sure to do that if something does," the boy assured him before going towards the stairs that led up to the storage room, the squid following shortly behind him before he went off in a different direction, probably to make sure everything was going smoothly with Martin and Jimmy before going to bed to rest. The boy didn't think too much about that as he climbed the stairs and walked towards the guest room, which was also right above and across from the cat's bedroom, which was pretty convenient. The boy walked down the space, stopping for a moment when he heard a faint bark from the cat's bedroom. Barnaby, the cat's oldest dog, was already in the room, probably with the cat. The boy walked over and peeked into the bedroom, finding the cat was preparing his cake for tomorrow morning before going to bed. It was something his friend would do every night, which was always good because it meant the cat was getting back into his routine and recovering well. That's what he wants you to think. Sam stood there for a long moment, watching the cat as the cat made the cake and put it on the wooden table before turning towards bed, chatting softly with an eager and excited Barnaby. Before the boy could slip away, and to avoid being spotted, the cat looked in the direction and went over to the door. He opened it and greeted the boy with a cheerful hello. "Hey," the boy said with a smile. "I just wanted to make sure everything was all right. I didn't mean to bother you." "No, don't worry about it," the cat chuckled. "I understand why you want to make sure. So, is everything okay here?" the boy asked. "Yeah, pretty much," the cat replied matter-of-factly. "I was just getting ready for bed. As should you." The boy smiled sheepishly. "Oh, well, don't worry." "I'm not," the cat said. "I think I'm the happiest I've been in a long while," which is saying something. "That's good," the boy nodded. "You've definitely come a long way. You were with me every step of the way. So were my other friends," the cat smiled. "I couldn't have gotten here without you encouraging me to keep going." "I'm just glad you're doing better," the boy replied. "A couple of weeks ago, you were still pretty nervous a lot." "I could trust you and my friends to be there," the cat agreed. "It took a while to get to that point, but I'm not looking back." "Well, if you need to talk to me about anything, you know I'm open," the boy replied. "I do," the cat smiled meekly. "I have so many people helping me, I don't want to take them for granted." "I know," the boy said. "That's why a reminder is always nice." The cat nodded and smiled. "Well, I guess you should probably go to bed. I'll send Barnaby over if I need anything." "I'm good with that," the boy nodded, wishing his friend a good night before walking toward the guest room. It didn't take too long for him to climb the stairs and enter the guest room. The room wasn't quite empty as he entered, finding that the duckling and bush baby sitting on beds and talking with each other. "Looks like the two of you are having a good time," the boy said with a smile. "Yeah, you could say that," Squishy mused. "You certainly took longer to get here tonight." Sam shrugged. "Just wanted to make sure everything was good before calling it a night." "But there hasn't been any sign of any threat, right?" Nettie asked curiously. "Not yet," the boy said. "But the fact that Mr. A's men are still out there, and those guys who imprisoned Stampy, Squishy Squid, and the helpers into their own rooms are still out there. They are still technically threats, even though we haven't seen anything right now. Ah, the Bush Baby said. What about Gerald? Any word on from him? And after he took Stampy and turned him over to Mr. A, the boy said, shaking his head. Stampy doesn't even know where he disappeared off to. That's not good, Squishy said. No, it's not, the boy replied. That's why we need to be careful, because we don't know when or where he might strike next. Any of them, really. They're clearly planning something big if they've been quiet for so long, Nettie said with a hint of concern. Hopefully it's something we can handle, Squishy said, and the boy could hear hope in her voice. Sam nodded. There's nothing they can do to stop us from doing what's right. If you didn't mean calling for backup. Do you think it'll come to that? The Bush Baby asked. Sam shrugged, and he shook his head. We've got plenty of people who can bend and fight back an army of men if need be. The only way we will need help if something happens, and none of us can stop it. Oh, Squishy said slowly, nodding her head. Right now we don't need to worry about that, the boy clarified. So long as those men remain silent, we can only hope that whatever they are planning is something we can handle. Yeah, you're probably right, Bush Baby said. They won't stand a chance. Exactly, the boy said as he walked over and pulled the covers back. No, we should all get some sleep. Being well rested is always good, and it doesn't hurt any. Good night, then, Squishy said with a nod. Good night, the boy said, as he watched the girls climb into bed. As he did the same, the boy closed his eyes and pulled the covers over him, welcoming its warm embrace. It didn't take long for the sleep to overtake him. A peaceful slumber that was both restoring and refreshing. A perfect night in a perfect paradise. What more could one ask for? Nothing much, really, because everything they needed and could ever want. They knew that they would still have each other. Even if those men decided to strike back, if they even ever did. But until then, it was worth every peaceful moment. No worries, no threats, just a looming one that they couldn't do much about yet. But until then, he would wait and be there for his friends. That was the least he could do for them. Pretty ominous. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video, because I'm not going to be reading chapter 2. That would take too long, and I don't think my storage would like that if I tried to do that, so I'm going to leave it here and start a stream soon. I don't know when, whenever I can. I just leave it at that. It's like, usually I try not to do it on Wednesday, because I always have a Minecraft video on Wednesday, so it's probably not always going to be on a Wednesday. It's probably like a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I usually would try to do a Monday and Friday, but we'll see whether or not it works or not. And it's like, but yeah, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, be sure to let me know if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, theories as to what might happen, and leave them below. Yeah, I'd like to hear. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you.